In the early 1990s, a Nigerian man named Emmanuel Nwude pulled off one of the most elaborate and bold financial scams in history. He convinced a Brazilian bank, Banco Noroeste, to buy a non-existent airport. What made this scam even stranger was the fact that Emmanuel was already a relatively well-off individual. Emmanuel Nwude was a former director at Union Bank of Nigeria, one of the country's major banks. Nwude was well-educated and understood complex financial instruments and international banking systems. This sophistication allowed him to forge convincing documents and talk his way into the trust of senior banking executives at Banco Noroeste. His expertise in banking made the scam look legitimate, as he could navigate the technicalities and paperwork required to fake a multi-million-dollar government project. It was also likely that he had help from corrupt government officials, which was what enabled him to forge official government documents and approvals that looked so authentic that even a foreign bank, Banco Noroeste, believed them. Nwude posed as Paul Ogwuma, who was the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria at the time. Using this fake identity, he approached Banco Noroeste with a highly lucrative proposal. He claimed that the Nigerian government was looking for foreign investors to fund the construction of a new airport in the capital city, Abuja. Nwude tricked one of the bank officials by telling him he would receive a huge personal commission of $10 million for making the deal go through. The Brazilian official, blinded by the promise of a $10 million commission, dug illegally into his bank's funds and transferred $242 million in a series of payments to accounts around the world. Of this, $191 million was sent as an upfront payment. Banco Noroeste was a mid-sized Brazilian bank primarily owned by the Cochrane and Simonson families. In 1998, it was in the process of being acquired by Banco Santander, a much larger Spanish bank. During the due diligence for the acquisition, Santander auditors discovered massive discrepancies in Noroeste's books, particularly concerning a $242 million loan tied to the fake Nigerian airport project. An investigation revealed that the airport did not exist. The scandal brought down Banco Noroeste, leading to its eventual collapse. Emmanuel Nwude, along with several co-conspirators, was arrested and charged with fraud. The fraud wiped out a significant portion of Banco Noroeste's assets, leading to its collapse and forcing its complete acquisition by Banco Santander. The bank's original owners, primarily the Cochrane and Simonson families, suffered huge financial losses. The reputation of Noroeste was irreparably damaged, and it ceased to exist as a standalone entity. The case took years to resolve, with lengthy trials and appeals. Nwude and his associates initially fought the charges aggressively, using Nigeria's corruption-prone legal system to delay proceedings. They, however, were ultimately tried and found guilty. In 2005, Nwude was convicted of fraud, forgery, and money laundering. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison and ordered to forfeit his assets, including properties and the proceeds of the scam, which was estimated at around $131.5 million. Amaka Anajemba, who was Nwude's main accomplice, played a critical role in the fraud. She was instrumental in creating and presenting fake documents, as well as managing funds that flowed through various accounts as part of the scam. She was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and ordered to repay $25.5 million as part of her plea agreement. Her husband, Christian Ikechukwu Anajemba, helped with creating the fake identity of Paul Ogwuma, the central bank governor of Nigeria, and was instrumental in duping Banco Noroeste officials. He reportedly died before he could stand trial. His death left much of the blame to fall on his wife Amaka, who assumed a significant portion of the legal consequences on his behalf. Even though Nwude was sentenced to 25 years in prison, he was released only a year later in 2006 and subsequently filed a lawsuit to recover his seized assets. And he did. He recovered $52 million worth of assets, with claims that they had been acquired prior to the offense. The saga of Emmanuel Nwude and the fake Nigerian airport scam is a textbook example of the audacity, sophistication, and corruption that can underpin large-scale financial fraud. Nwude's ability to exploit his banking expertise and leverage Nigeria's systemic corruption not only exposed the vulnerabilities in international financial systems, but also highlighted the ripple effects of unchecked greed. While Nwude's banking expertise and Nigeria's endemic corruption played pivotal roles, the scam would never have succeeded without the greed of the Banco Noroeste manager, who allowed the promise of a $10 million commission to cloud his judgment. Banco Noroeste's downfall, the millions lost, and the tainted recovery process underscore the enduring consequences of such schemes.